She walked into the school like a ghost entering a battlefield. No one knew her name, no one cared. But within minutes of her arrival, the whispers started. "New girl, look at her clothes. Why does she walk like that?" Her hoodie was a little too big, her jeans a little too faded, and her eyes carried a weight no one could understand. Her name was Lila. She had just transferred from another state after her dad lost his job and her parents divorced. She didn't want to move. She didn't want to start over. She had no choice. Her mom worked nights, barely holding it together, and Lila promised herself she would stay invisible. Get through the year! No drama. No trouble. But sometimes trouble finds you when you're not looking for it. The bullies noticed her before lunch. A trio of them. Stacy, the queen bee with venom behind her fake smile. Her sidekick Jenna, and the tall, broad-shouldered Lex, who thought being cruel was the same as being funny. They watched Lila like predators circle prey. Asterisk the next day it got worse. They accidentally spilled milk on her, called her names in the hallway, laughed when she slipped on a wet floor. They had intentionally made worse. And when no teachers were around, Stacy would whisper in her ear, "You don't belong here, freak." But the worst came on a Friday afternoon. It happened outside, near the back of the school building where the security cameras didn't reach. Lila was heading to the library, her arms full of books, when Stacy and her crew cornered her. There were others around. Some kids just watched from a distance, unsure whether to help or pretend it wasn't happening. Most chose to look away. Asterisk, "You think you're better than us?" Stacy sneered, grabbing one of Lila's books and tossing it to Jenna. Asterisk, "Nice jeans," Lex said with a smirk. "Bet you got them from the trash." Asterisk, Jenna laughed. "Let's see if they even fit." Asterisk, and then it happened. Stacy grabbed Lila by the wrist, and Lex reached for the waistband of her jeans. The intention was clear. They wanted to humiliate her, rip her pants, expose her, break her spirit completely. But Lila didn't freeze. She exploded. Asterisk, it was like a switch flipped in her. Lila wrenched her wrist free, adrenaline making her stronger than she had ever felt. She elbowed Lex hard in the ribs. He stumbled back, shocked. Jenna tried to grab her, but Lila ducked and shoved her into the wall. Her books scattered, but Lila didn't care. Her voice cut through the air like a siren. Asterisk, touch me again, and I swear I'll end you. Asterisk, Stacy backed up, suddenly unsure. Her smirk was gone. Asterisk, Lila was breathing heavily, eyes blazing, fists clenched. A crowd had formed, now too many to hide what had just happened. One kid had even taken out their phone. Lila stood tall, her clothes rumpled, tears in her eyes, but she was not broken. Asterisk, is this how you get power? By tearing people down? She shouted. By trying to strip someone's dignity in front of others? You think that makes you strong? Asterisk, no one said a word. Not even the bullies. Asterisk, a teacher, finally arrived. The crowd dispersed quickly, but not before the damage and the truth was out. Lila reported everything. The school launched an investigation. The footage from previous incidents, the witness statements, even the video someone secretly took, it all added up. Asterisk, Stacy, Jenna, and Lex were suspended. One of them was even transferred to another school. But Lila didn't feel triumphant. She felt exhausted, hurt. Changed. Asterisk, for a few days, people treated her like some kind of legend. Dud, the girl who stood up to the bullies, the girl who fought back. Asterisk, but Lila knew something deeper had shifted inside her. Asterisk, she joined a self-defense class that weekend. Not because she wanted to fight, but because she wanted to feel in control of her life. She started speaking at school assemblies about bullying, consent, and dignity. She shared her story not for attention, but for others who were suffering in silence. Asterisk, the girl who once wanted to disappear, now stood in front of crowds and said, I was terrified, but fear doesn't mean weakness. Sometimes fear is the first step toward power. Asterisk, she made friends not because she changed who she was, but because she stopped hiding it. Pain became her strength. Her scars became her story. The girl they tried to humiliate became the girl who inspired others. And as for the bullies, they faded. Because in the end, power built on cruelty always crumbles. Asterisk, but the strength that comes from surviving that never dies. Asterisk the lesson. You never know what someone's carrying, and you should never mistake silence for weakness. Some people are storms just waiting to rise. Asterisk, and when they do, you'll remember them.